Someone told me the Genshin men are being snapped out of existence. Who stole the Infinity Gauntlet? Hey, welcome to my channel everyone, I'm the globalcherry and I will be discussing Genshin Impact's male character problem. Before we begin, subscribe, like the video, and enjoy the show! Years ago, I was deep in the gaming and otome hole, thriving and unbothered, until my friend tried to drag me into another abyss, the Genshin hole, because as Sun Tzu says, wherever there's a hole, there's always a goal. I watched creators get their daily dose of serotonin from throwing money at every 5-star banner, but me? No. I have self-control. I'm a responsible adult. I could never become a Genshin goblin. I could never—
Ah, so you do feel something for me. And people say my charm is fake.
I get it now. At first, it was the pirates Diluc and Zhongli that caught my eye, but that wasn't the full reason I fell into the game. Genshin Impact is an open-world action RPG where you explore stunning landscapes, battle enemies, and encounter beautifully designed characters, each with their own elemental abilities. The Dawn Winery theme sweeps over me, pulling me deeper into the world as I stand amidst Mondstadt's lush green fields. A lone traveler craving adventure, I took on quests, fought hilly churls, and foraged for ingredients to cook my favorite dish, Timmy's birds. Genshin Impact boasts a roster of over 90 characters, with roughly a third of them being men. For a while, it made sense that female characters were released more frequently. Some of my personal favorites were Raiden Shogun and Lisa. They still balanced things out by introducing a fair number of well-developed male characters.
Please don't!
But I never expected that wanting to play as a 5-star male Hoyoverse character would feel like chasing a ghost. Sure, male characters weren't completely sidelined. Venti, Child, Kazuha, and Zhongli all played crucial roles in the story. The Wanderer and Neuvillette became fan favorites, and characters like Kazuha were not only well written, but widely regarded as top tier. With the release of Natlan, the community has never been more divided. One side criticizes Hoyoverse for prioritizing marketability over strong character writing, while the other insists that Hoyo is still cooking. But here's what's certain, Genshin characters feel different now. That was my immediate reaction when I looked at the latest banners, and I know this might be a hot take, but to me, Natlan doesn't feel like a Genshin region. It is indeed a nation of war, because everything goes to die. Genshin is starting to feel like a game that is losing its direction, much like what was happening to the Assassin's Creed franchise. In all of 2024, Natlan has introduced only one new male 5-star character, Kanish, and even then his screen time was minimal compared to other Natlan characters. He barely played a role in the story. Then there's Auroron. With his abilities, I fully expected him to be 5-star, but he wasn't. Capitano, the first Fatui Harbinger to appear in this arc, was completely wasted, placed in a death paradox only to die on the throne, as his soul was sucked out of him. Not only did Hoyo refuse to make him playable, but they also missed a huge opportunity to do so. A character like Capitano would have been an instant must-pull for many players, myself included. I never spend money on gacha games, but I would have saved all my wishes for him if given the chance. Lately, it feels like Hoyoverse is making most male characters 4-stars, while reserving the 5-star status for female characters. Sethos and Gaming being prime examples. And Gaming's ability is fire. Every player has their own reasons for playing Genshin Impact, but what's behind the game's character design choices and the noticeable lack of new male characters? And then it hit me. They needed more revenue, and they likely concluded that male characters wouldn't bring in as much profit. Before Fontaine's release, a leak surfaced hinting at Hoyoverse's future direction. According to it, Genshin Impact would no longer have a male character as the central figure in any major story, and the company planned to focus less on them in favor of female characters. The reasoning? Perhaps they assume that male players only pull for female characters, while female players are the only ones interested in male characters.
You know I'm a guy, right? Hey, far be it from me to judge.
But this doesn't seem like a logical business strategy, especially considering the game has a massive female player base. If Hoyo shifts entirely to female characters without adding real value to them, or stop releasing well-written characters altogether due to being male, a significant portion of players might lose interest and leave. It almost feels like the development team is full of otakus who think that pandering to a certain audience is more important than telling a compelling story. As a straight woman, I admit I enjoy Genshin's male characters, but I'll also pull for female characters if I find them and their story engaging. However, the recent ones feel off. Sure, they're visually striking and attention-grabbing, but something about them lacks depth. I don't mind fan-servicey or overly stylized characters, but it seems like the devs took heavy inspiration from waifu-centric games, trying too hard to make every new female character irresistibly cute and aesthetically pleasing. Everyone knows how strong Mavuika is, but surprisingly there were still plenty of players planning to skip her, as well as Chaska, Kanish, and Milani, even though they're some of the best attackers in the game. Jilonen is a craftswoman, but her attire consists of booty shorts and roller skates, but despite her unconventional look, she somehow felt more like an Archon than Mavuika. Mavuika herself is an Archon with a motorcycle, but honestly she just feels like another Pyro character who doesn't add anything new to existing teams. To use her effectively, you have to pull for more characters, and when it comes to her story, she doesn't come across as someone you can easily sympathize with. She feels more like a character without the depth or flaws that make others relatable. Then there's Verissa, a wrestler, but you'd barely know that from her design, except for her butt slam and those thick thighs that could probably crush a human. She's got hearts on her boots, a short skirt, and vibrant, colorful hair. While I appreciate that Genshin is starting to embrace different body types, Verissa's look feels more like something out of Far Cry New Dawn rather than the world of Genshin. And then there's Chaska, who's riding a floating gun, and Citlani, with her adorable design, while riding a floating sentient pillow. My point is, they don't look like they belong in a war-torn tribal world, let alone in Genshin Impact. Natlan is inspired by a mix of Mesoamerican, South American, and West African cultures, but compared to regions like Inazuma, Mondstadt, and Liyue, which have clear, well-established cultural identities, Natlan seems to lack a distinct style. Liyue draws from ancient China, and Inazuma has a strong old Japan theme. Take Jianling for example. She's a teenage girl with a passion for cooking, and it's instantly clear in her attire that she's from Liyue. In a nation that's supposed to be about dinosaurs, dragons, and tribalism, the characters don't feel like they belong to that world. Instead, they look more like they escaped from a slice-of-life isekai anime, superficial eye candy designed to drive up gacha numbers and stats. It almost feels like Hoyoverse is more focused on pandering to a gacha audience with cute and attractive characters, rather than enriching the story of Genshin Impact and its world of Teyvat. Games like ZZZ, Nikke, and Blue Archive have been compared to Genshin, and fans are fine with the marketing of those titles, where visual appeal and fan service are expected. After all, we all appreciate beauty in different forms. But here's the thing, Genshin did not start out that way. A was marketed to us with a tragic backstory, but we didn't focus solely on the fact that she pulled a sword out of her bow-bus. Sengonomiya Kokumi may have a cute appearance, but the true focus of her character lies in her role as the divine priestess and de facto leader of Watatsumi, which portrays her in a more thoughtful, pensive light. Hoyoverse's marketing approach has shifted dramatically over time, with over-the-top elements pulling away from Genshin's original theme and tone. They could learn a lot from their other games like Honkai Star Rail, which remains successful despite maintaining a balance between male and female characters. The key is just in writing them well. Not every character needs a tragic backstory, but if it serves the story, then let it be. It's ironic when you think about it. One of the most successful games right now is the otome game Love and Deep Space, where most of the characters are men, yet a significant portion of the player base, both men and women, are pulling for those male characters. So the lack of male characters in Genshin Impact isn't going to magically boost revenue. I've heard that we might get 2 new male characters in the silhouette teaser, but knowing Hoyoverse, they'll probably be 4 stars? If Hoyoverse really needed more revenue, they should have listened to the players and addressed the changes people have been asking for, instead of alienating a portion of the fan base that prefers male characters. A survey was released for the game, but what are the chances chances they'll actually make any meaningful changes? When can we skip dialogue? Why not stop pushing filler patches? So what are your thoughts on Genshin Impact currently? I definitely sensed it was a lot different now than before. That is all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and comment your thoughts below. Thank you for watching, and that's all.